Today is Friday, Fry Bread Friday at the Noojimo'iwewin Center at Redcliffe, and I have the crew who's going to shoot a video today on the magic of fry bread as recognized by our chef, Michael Laughing Fox Charette. And we're putting this together on behalf of Wisconsin Native Vote Indigenous Peoples Week. Our subject for the week will be food sovereignty. But first, we'd like to talk about fry bread. Let me introduce the crew here, the production crew who's going to put this together for us.
Bonjour. I'm Ed Metallica, and I'm a peer specialist at the Noojimo'iwewin Center. We're a walk-in community center for people in addiction recovery. And a couple years ago, we started filming a monthly event called Cooking with Ed that has evolved into Jibaakwedaa with Ed, and I'm excited to be included in this video today with the fry bread.
My name's Justin. I also work as a peer specialist here at Nooji. I'll be behind the scenes doing the filming, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Bonjour, Bapewagush Nidijinikash. Hello, my name is Laughing Fox. I am known as the Native Baker. It's an honor for me to participate in this fry bread video in partners with Jibaakwedaa, Ed from Let's Cook, and we will be coming together. This event's gonna come together and bring us together just like our fry bread is gonna come together. And once we taste that togetherness,
we will rise.
We will rise, yeah.
Yes. Okay, folks, well, I'm going to hand it over to you. This is Dee Sweet with Wisconsin Native Vote. Let's cook.
Today, we're doing a special for the upcoming Indigenous Peoples Day. As a Native Baker, and partnering up with Jibaakwedaa, Let's Cook, and Metallica from Let's Cook. Anyways, fry bread is our subject today. And we kind of wanted to go into a little bit of the history of the fry bread, a little bit about our ingredients, come together, a really nice presentation with fry bread. Here's our setup. We have all of our ingredients. We have our flour, which is the main ingredient here. We have our sugar, which is going to help our yeast grow. A lot of traditional fry bread recipes use baking powder, but use a yeast to offer that rising effect. You know, I'm more of a contemporary, the contemporary Native Baker. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is to get our yeast activated. So we're going to be adding 2 cups of warm water with 2 packets of our yeast. Just want to get this water just right. And the way that I usually boil the baby bottle, you test it on your wrist. If it's too warm, you know, you don't. Your body is usually a 96, 97 degree. So when the water gets warm enough on your fingers, and it's a little bit past your temperature. Ed is my helper here today.
Hi.
Let me introduce you, Ed from Jibaakwedaa.
Bonjour.
Here he is.
I'm here to cook.
Ed's here to cook, and he's here to help. And this is our second video together. So we're just kind of building up that good chemistry, you know. Almost what we're using today is chemistry, by the way, when we're activating our yeast and our warm water together.
And this is really neat for me because I am not a baker. I love cooking, but I'm not good at baking. So I'm taking my cue from you.
Right. Well,
From your assistant.
we're gonna do a half and half because we're gonna bake. You know, we're gonna let the bread rise like a bread, but then we're gonna fry it. So we're not really gonna bake it today.
I'd be good at the frying part.
Yeah. So do we
All
have
right,
a cup? We need a
measuring
measuring cup. 2.5 cups of water in there.
Can I do that?
Yep.
Right.
I'll get our yeast ready here.
So, Chef Scooter, how long does it take you to make a batch of fry bread?
Batch of fry bread usually takes a good half hour. After you mix it, you have to let your bread rest so that the gluten in the bread can kind of release and loosen up. You know, and we'll be able to see that after we mix everything together. We'll see our bread rise up a little bit, and it'll be nice and soft. Here we have our water. We have 2.5 cups of warm water.
I did that. I got you the tune.
We're gonna make a baker out of you yet.
I had to do it twice because I lost count.
Here we go, and we're just gonna sprinkle our yeast all up in here.
It's kind of like salting my ribs on the grill, you know.
You know, back in the day, fry bread was like a family filler, kind of like meatloaf was, where they could kind of just have this quick bread, feed a lot of mouths. Fry bread became like a comfort food to the indigenous people in America. Our yeast here, and you can see a little bit, it's starting to activate already. Now, when I first started baking, I was just coming back from going to La Crosse, the University of La Crosse, Wisconsin, where I did an internship where we did some chemistry and microbiology. I was currently going to school for like ethnobotany and the study of medicinal plants. One of our exercises was growing microorganisms in the lab. So we were growing staph, we were growing E. coli, even some Micrococcus bacillus, believe it or not. When I came back from that experience, my friend owned a bakery. He needed some help and he asked me, would you come in and give me a hand for a couple weeks? And I agreed. And while I was in there, wouldn't you know it, like I was a natural. And I contribute that to my chemistry and microbiology classes from La Crosse. Yeast being just another microorganism.
So I was wondering, that's a beautiful medallion that you have. The famous t-shirt, the
Yes.
Laughing Fox. Tell us a little bit about that.
This medallion was actually created by one of my friends. They said that they wanted to capture the essence of my name. And my name is Jiibaakwedaa, which in English means laughing fox. So he managed to bead this very beautiful, unique piece for me. And not only did he do one side, but he also did the other side. Now on the other side, it has my eyes and it has my clan. And whenever I have a bad day, you know, and things are getting me down, I just spin this around. So laughing fox becomes hysterical fox, and all problems just seem to melt away.
That is so cool. I love
Yes. Desmond Barningham is the artist of this piece. And the shirt, of course, is my own design. It is a mask that I built and made, and when I play the flute, I wear it and it looks like the fox is actually playing the flute. So we have some cloudy goodness going on. I'm going to add shortening to our yeast mixture. I'm going to add our salt and sugar.
that. Do you put a lot of sugar in your fried bread?
3 tablespoons in there. And that's usually just for like the yeast. Give it that extra. I'm just going to use my hands for this part. Now this is the part that everybody kind of loves and kind of doesn't love, is the mixing of the fry bread, the mixing of the ingredients together. Ed, do you want to get a floured surface for me here? After I mix this up, we'll put it on there. So in this recipe, I used 5 cups of flour.
You want it on the board or just on?
Just right on the table, thank you. That's just so I can knead it a few times. And then we're gonna cover it as the bread rise. You know, for the indigenous people here, fry bread really didn't start coming around until we were placed on reservations. We had to rely on non-indigenous foods that were given to us by the US government, which was salt, flour, lard, and these types of foods. Now I read a quote by Chief Buffalo, who at the Sandy Lake tragedy had mentioned we had traveled from Madeline Island to Sandy Lake only to find that what was promised was not there, and the flour that she gave us was green and like clay, and it made sick hundreds of my people. Government issued commodities that we had gotten. Now I'm just kneading this bread, you know, I'm just kind of pushing it around, just kind of working that flour in there, and we can see it's still kind of sticky and light. It's a really nice dough. I'm just kind of pulling it over and just pushing with the heel of my hand in this motion.
I was gonna say, there's you have a technique for this.
Yeah, just kind of push it and roll it. I'm just trying to get all my ingredients well incorporated into this one dough. From what I've learned about the indigenous diet, some of them would say that we would have 5 to 8 meals a day that would fit in our hand, consisting of berries, nuts, rice, meats, dried fish. But all of our foods were all from the land, so they had 0 preservatives or anything in there, so our diets were that much more healthier. And the lifestyle that our people had lived at the time was that of foraging from one place to another. 80% of the life would have been just travel, and you would have been in shape because you would have been on that water every day with your canoe paddle, going someplace, exploring someplace.
You know, one time when I was down in Guatemala, I was at the market at Chichicastenango, and I found, of all things, I found a Tikanagan, a cradle board that looked just like ours, the style that we make. To me, and it was old, it was very old, but to me, like you were saying, that really demonstrates the trade routes that were in existence.
Yes, yes. And, you know, that goes a long way. I mean, they're constantly discovering new things that tell us about our history and about our origins. And for us, you know, we found copper in Mexico, you know, dating back 5,000 years. Lake Superior copper, you know. And just like the fry bread dough here coming together, so must the indigenous peoples, all peoples, just like fry bread coming together. So now that the fry bread has been mixed up, we're gonna rest it. Ed, if you can please cover that fry bread up with a towel. And then we'll give it a good 20 minutes and we'll see how it rises up.
So how much do you think this batch could actually feed?
I am gonna take a guess and say that we are gonna get 12 pieces out of that. That'll make 12 pieces of fry bread.
So one person, right?
Well, so one person. One person. All right, while we're getting that ready, we can get our grease. We're gonna use our canola oil for the frying part of it. Ooh. Yep, fried bread. Jiibaakwedaa Pakwejian.
That's what I say.
That's an awfully long word for fry bread.
The Ojibwe language is lovingly descriptive language. Once she rises up, we'll be able to fry it up and we'll be able to examine that fry on that fry bread.
I can't wait to see, what did you call it, the spinning the wheel?
Oh yeah. So when we're working the fry bread, we're gonna pull off the pieces and we're gonna turn the wheel. You know, everybody's got their technique.
Right,
some people
flip flop,
teach me that. Some people pancake it.
You know, here at Nuji, pre-COVID, we did a quarterly feast, traditional Native American feast, but we always had to invite someone to do the fry bread for us because none of us knew how to do it.
Well,
so I'm looking forward. This is excellent. Because
there's not too many natives out there that can make fry bread either. So,
unlike you, right?
Right.
That is tasty.
Well, this recipe I use on dinner rolls as well. So, like I said, contemporary native baker.
Yeah.
You know, I've been in the service industry for about 20 years, and I think I worked every station in the kitchen. I really like making breakfast for people just because that starts off their day. If you do it right and you see them smiling, you know, that tastes great. You know, then I did my job. But yeah, cooking and baking. Make a cinnamon roll in the morning. You lay on there cream cheese frosting with lemon, and you have this big dripping cinnamon roll in the morning. And the people smell it and they eat it, and to them it's like magic. Bam! And they carry that with them all day. And so they're handing out smiles and they're like, "Hey man," you know. And I love being a part of that.
So the beauty of your pastries is that they're also fat-free. Is that true?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Fat-free is No, I'm totally using refined stuff here, and I'm using ingredients that people would say aren't very good for you.
Laughing Fox said, we need to have ingredients for Indian tacos, fry bread tacos, so we prepared them in advance. We have a little ground beef here with taco seasonings, which is basically some cumin, chili powder, a little garlic, salt and pepper, and browned. And then we have toppings for tacos that people generally use. Some tomatoes, lettuce, mozzarella cheese, and some sour cream. And we invited some people from next door to come over and taste test with us. We're gonna be doing the fry bread any minute. This is where I get to show off my non-baking skills.
Your taste testing skills, right?
Taste testing, I'm good at, yeah.
Yes, and here we have our fry bread after 20 minutes, and we have doubled in size.
Whoa.
So, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're just gonna start to take pieces of this, and we're gonna form them into a circle, and then we're gonna let them swim in the grease.
Oh.
Get a little bit of flour on our hands so it doesn't stick to us. And you can see that consistency. You know, people say that's like a baby's bottom or like your boyfriend's belly. You know, just soft when it's got that consistency, and you can see that. in that bread. That just means that it's gonna be nice. The gluten strands are good. Ed's gonna give me some flour on my hands. I'm kind of like a doctor right now.
Yeah.
Doctor native baker. All right, Ed. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's just move. Is we're just gonna take a little bit, like this much, and then I'm gonna like pinch it off. It's about the size of a dinner roll. And you see our dough is all nice. Like
Sure, you made that look so easy.
Yep, you just kind of like squeeze it with your forefinger and your thumb. There you go. All right. So now that Ed's got his little fry bread, we're just gonna go like this a little bit, Ed, and we're just gonna keep kind of stretching it out until we make a circle. And this is the part I'd like to say, like we're driving a car, because we're kind of like on the wheel and we're letting the gluten. You can see the gluten is just making our fry bread stretch. And we want that elasticity in there. So we just want to make it, bring her out a little bit. And then when we have a nice size, we can see how thick it is. You know, it looks good. And then we're just going to put a hole in the middle like this, Ed. Just with the forefinger and thumb again.
Uh-huh. Is mine getting big enough?
Oh, yeah.
A natural hole coming here. Okay.
That's good. I mean, that's a spirit of fry bread saying it was meant to be. So we're just gonna lay that in here.
Mine's kind of getting elongated.
And we're gonna watch it fry.
How do you know that the shortening or the lard is hot enough?
You can always test it with a little piece, and you can see it's got a nice good cook going on it. And let's see, we're gonna give this fry bread a flip, and we're gonna check on the goldenness of it. Oh yeah, look at there.
Oh, perfect.
A golden brown fry bread. Ooh. I'll take mine out of here. And Ed, we got Ed's ready to go. This is the fry bread making process here. There you go, Ed. Just set her in there gently. We don't want no splashback. Here you go.
Whoa, look at your fry bread. That's perfect.
I'm just gonna add some more pieces in here.
Now, which one was the one I put in? So I probably need to flip.
Probably
that
the
first.
non-circular one.
Haha.
Yeah, right.
Just check the bottoms if you're,
Yeah.
Oh, this one. Okay.
If it gets too hot when you're frying the bread, what happens?
I think it just turns really hard. You hear that argument on reses all the time. Oh, your mom's fry bread tastes just like an old chicken wing. Or, your fry bread's so tough, not even the res dogs could eat it. All those memes with fry bread.
Right. Cool.
I'm learning how to drive here. I've been making right turns. I'm going to start making left turns now.
His Indian car, right?
Yeah, we just want to try to get it as even as possible. And when we put that hole in the middle, that's just to ensure an even cook on our fry bread. So one of the techniques that we use, that I use personally while making the fry bread, is a technique that I call driving the car, where you take a pinch of the fry bread itself, and we pinch a little bit off of here. Boom, we have our little fry bread dough. And then we're just gonna gently pull it and almost let the gravity do the work for us. And we're just gonna sit there and we're gonna turn the wheel. We're gonna thin this out, we're gonna turn the wheel. And we're gonna thin this out and we're gonna turn the wheel. In life, they say that 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 rights do make a left. Wah, wah, wah. There we go. And then I like to pinch a hole in there.
This driving takes practice.
And that hole right there, look at that. Almost a perfect circle. Here we go. And the fry bread goes in.
So out of approximately 5 cups of flour, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, we were able to make from this batch 12 pieces of fry bread.
I just like to say Chi-miigwech for everybody who's at home and checking this out or wherever you're at. It's always a pleasure for me to come and share culture and miigwech to Jibaakwedaa, let's cook with Ed and of course Justin, our other cameraman. So Chi-miigwech.
I learned how to turn the wheel today.
Ed's turning the wheel, man. The wheels are turning. The fry bread is turning.
Ooh, do we need another plate?
I
There
love
we go.
this.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, right, the
There
piece de
it is.
resistance, the beautiful fry bread tower. I love it. That's beautiful. I think I'm about to cry.
Fry bread's so good, we call it cry bread.
Cry bread.
So one of the things that we as Indian people love, Indian tacos. And there's a lot of debate on where the Indian taco comes from. Some people say that the Navajos created it with the Navajo bread dating back in the 1800s, the early part of the 1800s. But it really came together from us sitting around on the reservations and using what we had available to us. And that they're all foreign ingredients, but we've made it work. You know, as long as we enjoy in moderation. Fry bread has really truly become a soul food to the Anishinaabe peoples. A comfort food. It's a way to share each other's company as well as sharing Mother Earth's bounty.
You have shown us the beauty of fry bread, both in the process and pretty soon, now in this delectable feast that we're about to share with community members in Red Cliff, a band of Lake Superior Ojibwe, members of the great Ojibwe Nation. Look at that beautiful fry bread. Look at that.
And it's
Such
all
care. Yeah.
sour cream. And there we have our complete Indian taco. Weesin in.
Don't act, this is real.
Wow. This is the best fry bread. Oh my God.